Hello and welcome everybody, it's Karen. I am playing today with Paper Rose Studios Easter Village collection. Now these are the embossed die cuts. You can see how nice and shiny and glazed they are in different areas. They're absolutely the sweetest little images. And if you have never tried these, I would highly recommend them. They're perfect for card making, for if you want to make a set of note cards, if you want to add them to a journal or onto a scrapbook page. And then these are the embossed tags and tickets. And so you can see there's lots of little tags in there, there's a little hole punched in them right at the top. These are all come on perforated sheets. There's usually 2 or maybe 3 points where you have to push them out. But they're just really sweet images. Now, some of them were in frames. So like up here, this one, if I flip it over, you can see it's already got 2 frames. So you could take out that center frame and put some gold foil cardstock behind, or you could put some layers up on foam tape. Some of these were stamp images, just super fun. So I'm going to be playing with those today. And I have 3 projects for you. So my first one is just a card. I have got a 6 by 11 inch piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to score this at 2 3/4 inches and 8 1/4 inches. And so this is going to make a very simple gatefold card that I will change up a little bit. So I'm just folding that over, and now you can see that that is a gatefold that should line up in the middle. It ends up being 5.5 inches wide by 6 inches tall. Now I have chosen this piece of cardstock from the Easter Village collection because, well, those 2 bunnies. So I carefully cut that out to save the bunnies. Those are 2 3/4 inch wide pieces to cover the front. And then I've got my Vintage Labels 1 die set here, and I think that's the 4th largest one of the set. And I've just centered that over the 2 front openings. I'm die cutting the right side, but I've left the low tack tape on so that I can now tack it down on the left side and remove the tape on the right. And that way you'll have it all lined up perfectly to put through your die cutting machine. So you just want to make sure you open it up before you die cut it. So there it is with that opening. And I've got the bunnies, and I've taken one of the images from the embossed die cuts, and the other is from the tags and tickets collection. Now this little guy I've popped up on some foam tape, and I thought I would put this image so it straddles the opening just to help keep it closed a little bit better. So I've tucked it down on the right side, and now I can see where I can put glue so that it will attach over on the left. I just don't want to put any glue up above where that die cut or piece is going across. So now I can pop it underneath my bunny and let the glue set up. And that was my card. It's quite a busy card for me, but I loved all the bunnies, and it's so spring-like, and honestly we're having such a cold winter at the moment, so it just made me happy doing this one. So there it is. Okay, so my next 2 projects are actually going to be for table settings. So I am using this Baby Dreams collection of cardstock. I've chosen the pink sheet and the pale blue one. I've cut these into 6 inch by 6 inch squares. So I got 4 from each piece of cardstock. And then out of my stash, I just found this pale yellow one that I sort of thought went with the other 2 to be sort of pastel spring-like colors. Now this is my mock-up of the Easter basket that I'm going to make. I'll try to link below to where I saw it. It was a woman from Melbourne, I believe, that I saw this from on the internet. I think it was on Pinterest, but I'll try to link to that below. But it's in my scoreboard, and I'm just scoring at 2 inches and 4 inches, rotated it and scored again 2 inches and 4 inches. And then you just want to fold and burnish all those folds. They go all into mountain folds. So I've sped this up for you, but very magically it's done. Now you want to cut straight up on one side to that first score line along both of these folds. And then you're going to rotate it all the way around to the other side. So you always want to work on the opposite side. And again, just cut this up. And that's all there is to the folding and the cutting. So I like to push that middle one out of the way, and then what you're going to do is bring these two side pieces up, and you want to line up those 2 points up at the top. So it's going to go like that. So there's just a little triangle area where these two will attach. So I'm just putting a bit of glue there. And again, I've got the middle one out of the way, and I'm lining up the 2 points. And then I'll press that down, make sure that glue catches. And then this middle one, you want to just watch the very bottom of that because there is that little opening there. So you don't want to put glue in that part. So I sort of just stay away from that and put a bit of a rectangle of glue around the top part of it. And then you can fold that up and press that down. Now you can use your bone folder to get right in there and press it down. I did a dozen of these baskets, and honestly by the end I was not using my bone folder. So don't think it matters. But that's the one edge, which I thought was really quite pretty actually. And now again on this side I'm going to line those points up. So there's that rectangle, or triangle rather, where you want to put your glue. So I'm just going to line up the top points again. Give it a good press. And then the bottom section again. So just make sure you avoid that very bottom of that flap. So that was a pretty simple basket. Now they're fairly big, these baskets. It's about 3.5 inches from the two end points, and it's 2 inches wide. I'll show you after just a bit more of an idea of how big those are. So I've chosen this piece of paper from the Rainbow Twirl 2 collection. I just liked it because it had all the colors in it of my baskets. And I thought that was kind of spring-like and pretty. So I chose the flowered side, but actually either side of this would be perfect for these. So I've cut it into 3/4 inch by 6 inch wide strips, and you could see I just curled it with my bone folder there just to help it get that shape to hold it into the basket shape. And I've put a bit of glue on the ends, the inside ends of one handle, and I'll hook it or attach it right to the end there above that point. You could use brads to hook this down if you were worried about your glue. Mine seem to be holding pretty well. I haven't filled them completely yet or had anybody swinging them with weights in them, but they seem to be holding. So I did that for all my baskets, and I thought that was really pretty. And then I went through the embossed die cuts, and I've picked out some of the cuter, well, they're all cute images, but these are the ones I thought would fit on the sides of my baskets. So I just went along gluing these in place, different one on each side. I just did one side with these, and then you'll see here I take it on the other side, it's still blank. So I used the banner trio die set, and I've cut that sort of fishtailed banner from the same colored cardstock. And I've got the tags and tickets images now. So these were a little bit smaller, which was actually perfect to go on the tags because I'm going to punch a hole in them. And then my idea was I will add one of these images and I'll write the name above it. So they become not only little Easter baskets, but table place marks basically for, or name holders. So you can see I've got my son's name on there, and then I've got a little piece of ribbon, and I wrap the ribbon around the handle, get the 2 points together, and then I fed that through the little hole that I've punched out. And so maybe because I had a small hole punch, I'm not sure, but I did not need to make a knot with these. It seems to hold really well, so I just made the bow part here. And there you go. So I thought that was really quite cute. And now I'm going to have to fill them. So I've got everybody's names on them, and they'll be table place markers. So here's an idea of what the size is. I've got my glue bottle in there. You could easily put 2 glue bottles in, or here's an acrylic paint bottle. So they're quite big actually. Lots of room for treats. Okay, so here's another idea. I've got a cardboard roll from inside. I don't know if that came from wrapping paper or aluminum foil. I don't know what it was, but I just marked off 1.5-inch sections on it. So you can see my marks there. Now I am terrible at cutting that straight. So I get my great big long scissors. I tried to put it over that pencil mark, and then I just grip it and I sort of rotate that while I'm still pressing down fairly hard with the scissors, and it leaves a little line. It sort of goes a bit straighter than I would go if I was just cutting it with my craft knife. But it gave me a line to follow with my knife, my craft knife, so I could cut that. So there you can see I'm just cutting right through that, trying to keep that line as straight as I could. And honestly, I didn't worry too much if they weren't exactly 1.5 inches. I don't think it matters. So it was pretty rough when I got them cut out. And so I just took my little scissors, and I found this easier to do if I cut on the side opposite from me. But I was just trimming that off, just getting rid of all the loose little bits. And then I took this nail file that I keep in my craft room and just buffed up those edges a little bit more just to get them a bit smoother. And then I took some white acrylic paint, and I am going to paint the whole of the inside of these tubes. This project took a bit longer just because I was waiting for paint to dry, and you know, it just was a few more steps. So I'm also doing the ends of that, and I've set those aside to dry, but I've cut from the Easter Memories paper these 3 different pieces. I've cut them into 1.5-inch wide sections by 6 inches. And again, I'm going to curl those because they're going to wrap around those cardboard tubes. So here's my Mod Podge now. I do have the gloss one here. I don't think it matters. And I'm putting this directly onto the cardboard roll because I'll attach the paper to this. Now, I have to say, after doing 12 of these, I found it a little easier to put the Mod Podge both on the cardboard roll, but also on the inside of that paper, and then smooth it all down. But you'll see for now, I am just adding that Mod Podge to the cardboard roll and then sort of wrapping that paper around as I got the Mod Podge down. And then when I got to the end, I just covered that whole section and the paper itself with Mod Podge. I coated the whole roll with Mod Podge, both outside and inside. So it's glossy both on the outside and the inside, which I kind of thought would help, you know, stop any glue or paper from getting worn down. Now I've taken this piece of paper from the Easter Village collection because it's so cute. I think there may have been one other piece of cardstock I used for some of these, but I've cut them apart into the different images, and I'm just corner rounding these. I used the quarter rounder section on my corner chomper here. And I have a laminating folder that I'm going to put these into because I am going to laminate them. I wanted them to be good and sturdy and to hold up to a bit of wear and tear. So there they are, all inside the laminating folder, and I just ran those through my laminator, and when they came out, they're all nice and glossy, and I just again used the corner rounder. Now I go a little off camera here. I have to apologize. I think I was getting excited, but I am just going to put a bit of hot glue down right over that seam where the paper ended, and then I will attach one of these laminated images to that and sort of pressed it down. And so you can see it's just held in place at the very center of that, but they are so cute, you guys. So here they are. They're all slightly different papers, different images on them, but they're all napkin ring holders, which I thought was kind of a fun thing to have on the table. Now, there was this one image, that was my test one, and I had used one of the embossed die cuts for that instead of the sentiments or the images from the paper pack. Now this is how I folded my napkins, because this was really fun. I found this on the internet. You take your napkin and you fold it into a triangle, and then you're just going to start folding this down into a rectangle. And you fold it all the way down so you get this long skinny thing. And then you just take those ends and bring them up together. And then through the top there, you're going to poke those napkin ends through your ring holder, and you pull them up. And you can probably start to see what this is going to do here, but you sort of pull them out, you round up or fluff up this middle section, sort of get those ears at the top, because yes, it looks like a bunny. And then you can fill it with Easter eggs. And I just thought that was so much fun. So, and the napkin ring holder, it's just perfect. And I really liked that they were all just slightly different. They're all sort of spring-like patterns to go on the table once the napkins are taken out. I just thought that was really fun, you guys. And I feel like because they are laminated and glossy, they will last for quite a while. So I sort of set my table for you a little bit just to show you what it might look like. So there they are, the napkin rings, the little Easter baskets are there. That's the centerpiece that I made in my last video for Paper Rose. And I just thought that was such a fun thing to do, so I'm really looking forward to Easter. I hope I've given you some ideas today, you guys, on how to use that collection. It's lovely. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a great day.